Cool.
All right.
So hello everyone. We have Idalis here, and are you in Chicago right now?
Yes, I'm in Chicago.
Okay, yeah. And Idalis is you reached out to me a few weeks ago. You're life sciences, and your PhD. I reread your email and went through it all today, so I
Yeah.
got refreshed on it. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you today because you're a researcher, academic. You're kind of like basically what uh you know really Lumen's use case mainly is doing academic work and stuff. And I haven't had someone like you on here yet and coached anyone like you, so I'm like really excited to do this and go through this. And yeah, so why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, your research, your basically where your anti-net is today, and we'll kind of go through what you talked about in your email, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah. So I'm a third year PhD student. I go to Northwestern University. And I guess just to touch on what you said about how, the whole system is kind of meant for the benefit of academics. Ironically, I didn't do a lot of writing in undergrad. So when I came to this, fancy university, it's a lot of writing, and grad school definitely is not the exception to that. So I just kind of found myself really overwhelmed with the writing process. And I knew there was no discussion either, like in any of my classes, like how to do the writing process. It's just like, here, write a grant proposal and turn it in. So yeah, and even then I didn't really know what I needed help on. It was just like, okay, I don't know how to kind of get to the point, but one of the main struggles was not writing like literature reviews based off of like general reviews of a topic. Like that's kind of like a no-no. You want to write it off of like the primary literature.
Yeah, the primary source.
Yeah. So that was something I kind of struggled with because I'm like, well, damn, that's like a lot of papers. And, these reviews kind of do the hard work for you.
Yeah, they summarize it, or
Yeah.
they kind of reformulate it in an easier to comprehend way, basically.
Yeah. And they just like digest it to, what the whole point of the paper was. So as I was trying to learn how to read the primary literature, and, it's a lot of results and little details that I didn't really know I didn't have to get into. I would read like from front to back the articles. So like little stuff like that, I didn't really kind of know right away. And I think it's very valuable to have that for students in the future. Like, who might have come from like my background. Like I didn't come from a huge research university at all. So yeah, just to help educate students in that way.
So your instructions when they said, hey, write a grant proposal or research paper was like basically, oh, no guidelines of how to actually do it. It was like telling you the what, and then you're basically, you start kind of like like in Microsoft Word on a blank slate type of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like, okay, we need like a background section, and then like an aims section, which again, like I had never written a grant proposal or anything like that in undergrad, like as an undergraduate researcher. But yeah, it's not very straightforward. And then there's kind of this element where it's like, how do I ask for help? Am I going to sound stupid? The professors are probably going to think like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So that was a barrier for me for sure. And just try not to compare myself to the people around my cohort, basically.
It's funny. It's I feel like that I think back to my like academic days too. It's just like a lot of the how-to information is almost seen as like, oh, too beneath someone or people. It's like, but I have down here like in the list my pile of books. I haven't read it yet, but there's a really good book by Umberto Umberto Eco, and he's like a really prolific intellectual, and he wrote a book called How to Write a Thesis. And it's funny because I was going through it, and his I think this is why it got recommended to me, because all of his examples of how to actually do it, it's like he uses index cards and note cards, for his entire process. And it's like, I feel, I feel like the more you look for it and like, the more you explore, it's like people actually use analog tools and note cards way more than we realize. Everyone's obsessed with Obsidian or the digital tools, but yeah, it's yeah. And I guess you've already started on this journey of building your own anti-net too, right?
Yeah, I also started with Obsidian, and it was just it was cool to mess around with all like the skins or whatever they're called, the
Yeah,
designs
themes and
and
all that stuff. Oh, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the shortcuts. I had like the coolest keyboard shortcut.
Me
Everything
too.
was quick, and I'm like, I can't figure out the Zotero, and I really need the
Oh yeah, I remember
citations.
you
Like
writing
I
about that.
just, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I know writing is the ideal way for me, like writing by hand. And
Hmm.
even now, I've also kind of experimented with like an annotated bibliography, like on Word document, because I used to
Hmm.
carry this whole thing like on the bus with
Heck
me
yeah.
so I could
I know.
take to like lab.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I need a better system.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just have one box right now, and I have started like the staging cards
Yeah.
and stuff for some
Yep.
of the
The bib
articles I want
cards.
to go over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we should focus on is, in your
Mhm.
email is it's you're really focused on the extraction process. I would say
Mhm.
well, there's the selecting information, like figuring out what you actually want to glean from what you read. And then there's the
Mhm.
extraction phase, which is the how to actually extract that information without getting bogged down, by that stuff. Because it sounds like you can easily get bogged down with the primary sources,
Mhm.
and you can probably spend, I don't know, 10
Oh,
years reading all the things that
yeah,
that you have
years.
to
Yeah.
read. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, let's focus on that to start. And the thing, and this has come up quite a bit for me lately, is like the way to extract knowledge, or I would say extract information and then turn it into knowledge, right?
Mhm.
um and it it uh it really depends on, when we look at these sources, uh is your level of how much you actually understand the material that you're reading already. Like,
Right.
if you're reading an article to understand it, then you're going to want to do a lot more robust notes. And even like even in that method, I may even consider not even doing the two-step Lumen bib card method, which is like the staging card method. Like that is, those taking those staging notes are good, and I use it the majority of the time. But they're also better for if you're going into something completely new, like a paper, just to understand it. It's almost
Mhm.
better to like take out an actual 4x6 or 3x5 note and write down the concept directly and extract it as you're going through the paper. Because as you reformulate the ideas as you go through, they're going to be bigger and need to fit on. They're not going to just be a bullet point on a bib card. Um, but yeah, why don't we walk through? But does this sound like a good place to start and go through the literature?
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. Because that was kind of the part that I was like avoiding too, because I'm like, well, I need to. So I guess like the other caveat too with like academic writing is remembering what the sources say. Because many times I've come across like a paper, I click on the citation, and that paper does not say what they said. Like,
Oh,
oh,
interesting.
but that's, I mean, I think that's more of like a smaller mistake that happens less frequently, I hope.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's also been a thing where it's like I don't really remember exactly what this paper said. Like I can't remember every detail about every paper, unfortunately.
mhm.
So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm like, well, should I just do the staging card and then go back to it? But that is another step, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. It'll make sense when we go through it.
Mhm.
Let's go through the. And you said you have some papers like sample papers, stuff to use that may not be, we don't want to get scooped, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know like how much to reveal, but these were just more of like background papers. They were published in the same journal, like back to back, basically. So I know I mentioned 3, but right now I have 2 with the staging cards, like ready to go.
Yeah.
So I did want to extract just like the parallels of how they came to their conclusions and just the differences between them too. Like one of them, I think, used mouse models, the others used just like cells. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go through this.
Okay. So let's see, should I show like, the staging card?
Yeah, well, show me the first paper and like let's talk through it and like give me an education on this stuff. Now I'm stoked. Now I'll come away with some some knowledge from life sciences that I wouldn't otherwise get.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention too, my research is studying the process of autophagy. So it's basically learning or looking at how the cells are able to basically get rid of all the junk inside of themselves to recycle it for energetic purposes or just to get rid of anything that might be toxic. And, this process has also been involved in or implicated in other different types of diseases. Like with aging, it's not as efficient. So things just start to build up. And in the, for example, with like Alzheimer's disease, the cell is not really able to degrade the bad plaques that build up and lead to cell death, basically.
So it's essentially how a cell cleans itself and like garbage collection.
Yeah, okay. It's called self-eating translation.
Self-eating, interesting. What was that word that it is called?
Autophagy. Yeah, so
autophagy.
Autophagy. Yeah, PHAGY.
Interesting. Yeah, it's funny. Lumen, like I think later in his life, like because I'm like writing a book on him and like getting so familiar with his work, he got really inspired by a term called like autopiosis, which is like a term for a cell reproducing itself and recreating itself. And it's funny how like I think a lot of these social sciences, they take inspiration from the life sciences and biology to explain their social theories.
Yeah, so, hey, it's like a phenomenon.
Maybe I'll use this concept for my book. Hey,
you got to throw in some biology somewhere, and then you'll get some of us nerds interested, more of them.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So does this first paper?
So this paper talks about a component that's involved in carrying out autophagy, but there's another function that they didn't really know was a thing until they found it. So it might also have other abilities to stabilize other important proteins, like completely separate from like the degradation process. So I thought that was pretty interesting because it's just kind of tying one pathway to like another one that's important for a cell's ability to replicate, or just it's called cell proliferation.
So it's like a primary function of cleaning itself and then a secondary function as well.
Okay. Yeah. So these 3 papers, 2 of which I'm going to mention, pretty much found the same thing, but using different methods, basically. So it's a robust thing that's happening. It's not just like, oh, maybe it was, only in our hands kind of thing. Yeah. So let's see. I did not have them ready to go. I don't know if you want to.
No worries. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
I think it allows me to still process all of the mind-blowing knowledge of all this stuff.
You need diagrams for this stuff. That's also another thing. It's like when the professors give lectures about this stuff, they have the PowerPoint slides, but they go through them quickly. Sometimes I'm like, all right, you've been talking for an hour. I need like
I need the diagram.
Yeah. Send me your PowerPoint slides after the recording.
just reading from the PowerPoint.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see if I can get just the PDF maybe. Okay, do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah,
or-
I think you have that ability.
Okay.
Let's try that.
So I do not have the ability, but
Okay. Let me see. It doesn't allow you to?
no.
Okay. Let me try
Okay,
to.
I think I got it now.
Okay.
It's
I just
letting me.
enabled it, I think.
Okay.
Wait. Who can share? Or I thought I enabled it. Did you try sharing yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let me try. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Sweet. Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. How do I move this thing out of the way? Great. Okay. Yeah. So this one, Umbra1 E3 ligase adapter regulates the stability of cyclin D.
Mhm. Ombre. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a cool guy.
Umbra1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
actually knew a girl named Umbra, but it was spelled differently. But anyways.
So Umbra1
Yeah.
leads. Okay. I'm not going to try to understand this part.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know where you want me to go from here.
Well,
Like,
yeah. So first step is, do you have what is it called? Zotero installed?
yes, I do.
Okay. And do you have like the browser plugin, the Chrome extension?
Yeah, I actually don't think I have this one on in my Zotero.
Oh, okay. This article in Zotero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean that's fine if you wrote it on a bib card.
okay.
I call the staging cards bib cards now. It's just
there we go.
For
okay,
bibliography.
that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, so show me your bib card now. Let me see that. Or just put it on your screen, and I think I can click into it.
I have it like written. Can I stop share? Is that what you mean?
I can see you. Yeah, just show it up on the screen. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So is this the right one? Okay. Yeah.
And then show me the back too. Okay, cool. So you have
the back.
You have the title written out. Yep, and the goal and overview, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have
yeah,
all
it's a little small. That's why I'm asking that question. Oh, wait, I can make it bigger
okay.
now. Sweet. Actually, this is perfect. I can see.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
I wrote a lot of detail, relatively speaking, to what you kind of talked to, I think, Nick about, because I did watch that video.
Yeah.
I wrote more about like just kind of the things I wanted to keep on the card, but that's also something like an issue I run into where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm just like rewriting the paper at some point.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so you see how those, and that's fine. I mean, you see how those notes are they look like they're reformulation notes, right? They're or some are excerpts, like there's that quote 794, that's like a little mini excerpt, and and I think and since they're longer, this is kind of what I was saying at the beginning. I think what the best practice to do is write each of them on their own note cards, right away, instead of, because right now you've put them on the bib card,
Okay, yeah.
and then because what you're doing is, with this paper, you're reading to understand, right? Like you're trying to understand, or correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're trying to understand, and then after you have that grasp so that you can understand, you then want to kind of reformulate it, or not reflect on it, and kind of create like a way to tie it into your actual paper, how you actually write about it, right?
Yeah. So essentially I'm trying to understand also, because it's a new field that I'm in, because I just joined the lab like in March. So it's also like me getting a background of like, okay, Umbra1 is an autophagy component, and it's also involved in another process.
Yeah.
And part of my research is also to see if there are other autophagy components that may have also secondary functions that are similar to this. So it's kind of like, this would be the paper that says, we know that autophagy components contribute to, for example, this one says stability of cyclin D, which is a protein also. We know that this happens, and this may be the case for our protein of interest, or whatever it is that I'm looking at.
Yeah. I think the main thing that the way to do this would be to do, so there's like two ways to, there's a few other ways to extract. Some people like to write in the margins. I don't think that's not a good practice, because you're repeating work and stuff.
Right.
The two main ways to extract, is the bib card method, which you've done, and that's kind of a two-step, and you want to do the bib card method when you really know, when you know the source or the material really well. I think the bib card method might be good to do after, like, say for instance, you read this paper, the primary source, and then say you read the secondary sources that comment on it. If you're reading the secondary sources, I think it's better to use the bib card method, because you already understand the material, and then you can write like, oh, the secondary source actually makes the right assumption or wrong assumption about this one, and that's just like the only thing on the line, so that it's a little bit briefer. And then, because in the primary sources, so that's one extraction method. The other extraction method, I call it the one-step book to extract, or just paper to extract, where you go straight from the paper onto an individual card. So instead of your bib card, all of the notes being on the one bib card, you can basically write down and teach yourself the paper, and then but use that, say, like, let's give me the let's read one of the notes on your bib card, one of the longer ones.
Okay. I don't know, it might be.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, so main context is to find genetic factors that something centers cancer's resistance to understand. Yeah. So what we would do, and then the second one is performed genome-wide CRISPR cells whose KO altered proliferation under probiotic, wherein loss of umbra. Yeah, see, that's you're basically reformulating the content, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I think for these types of things, when they're not brief, it's better to create it on its own individual card. The reason is because, and I have them in my own, actually, for this book, for the anti-net book, I have stuff written out of me, like trying to understand, like, Sankey Arens, and like his concepts. Like I have a card for just a reformulation of teaching me what a literature note is, and then behind that, I've now have like 100 other cards that have branched down and have reflected on, oh, why, like, his explanation of literature notes is wrong and stuff like that. What that allow you to do is, it allow you to, you'll have the reformulation card, and then behind that, you'll add all the other stuff, that like any other reflections or any other, whenever you're reading a new paper and you encounter it, similar idea to that, either the idea supports what you've written down, or if it contradicts what you've written down, you branch it and you have it all chained together.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things I'm the exact same way of where you are. Like I have a bib card down there that looks like it's, I don't know, each one is, like all like 1/3 of the card, and I don't do that anymore. I've gotten way better at the bib cards. And if I and this is something I realized, recently, I'm like, gosh, well, like Lumen only did the bib card method, but he also has written about how if he's approaching something new, like a new topic, his notes would be a lot more, robust and built out. So in that case, go directly to creating your reformulation note on an actual entire card.
Oh, okay. So how, in like the bigger, let's see, like in terms of hierarchy of the reformulation notes, I guess that would be up to me. I'm thinking it's going to be your answer, but like, how would that be like a section on its own? Because the sections that I'm probably going to use that I haven't decided yet are different from the ones that you mentioned in your videos, like the
The
they were
Wikipedia academic.
applied arts and yeah, like that doesn't really apply to my purpose of, you know, this. It would probably be more of like, I don't know, I was thinking like autophagy components in autophagy and then non-autophagy functions of the same components, you know, something like that. And then other contexts like in behavior or in certain disease models, I think would be more relevant. So yeah, I guess maybe that could be something we discuss too. Like, how would I fit those reformulation notes? Where would they fit on the hierarchy of the empty net?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get what you're asking and saying. Yeah, two things is the the Wikipedia. I've seen, you know, I use the Wikipedia because I've kind of, this is kind of how Lumen created his first, you know, anti-net Zettelkasten. It was kind of all encompassing, and I think the Wikipedia disciplinary fields encompass like all fields of knowledge or a lot of fields of knowledge. You know, for his second one, he just created it for sociology work. And you probably have there's probably like a classification scheme within life sciences that is super detailed and might be more helpful. The thing is with the classification schemes is like people take it overboard and they start treating it like, you know, the Dewey Decimal System where everything has to be perfect and strict and everything. They're definitely more fuzzy. And then it's also arbitrary. It's based on your, I mean, basically, like you said, it's personal, you know, you'll make some personal choices on how you want to structure this thing. But why don't we start where, give me a tour of your, let me make sure my mic is still up, but give me a tour of your, of your anti-net right now. And I'd like to see the main notes. You know, there's essentially like three sections of the anti-net, right? There's the bib notes, the index, and main notes.
Yeah, so I don't really have any like main, okay, that's a lie. I mean, I have like older main notes that I did, and I had, okay, I don't know how to like show this to you.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, I can pick this thing up, whatever. Yeah, so these are like all blank notes.
Okay.
And then I had like sections numbered.
Yeah, cool.
And those were like the specific sections that I thought I could like partition all the concepts into.
You mean like I saw that you have like 10, 11, all that?
Yeah, I have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and like at the beginning, like for 1,000, I had like autophagy components.
Oh, okay.
I think I did this with your video with Nick, but I never went back to like sort of fill this in.
Yeah.
Yeah, another like topic I'm interested in is something called GPCRs, G protein coupled receptors, that are like kind of like dopamine receptors kind of thing involved in neurobiology. And then there's also like autophagy and behavior would be another section. So I think I only have like, okay, and then this is the last section.
Okay, and then have you built out notes within these branches?
No, I haven't done any of that because I've just kind of been stalled at transferring or extracting.
Yeah, cool. And then I saw like you have like 10, 11, like do you have those ones or something?
10, 11.
I don't know. I saw it so briefly that I was like,
oh, okay. I don't.
Okay. Oh, and then you have your index as well, right?
Yeah, that was something I couldn't really like Oh yeah. It was a little different. This was like the first time I tried to do the AntiNet. I had like different sections and I had just numbered them 1, 2, 3
Gotcha.
instead of on the scale of thousands.
Uh-huh.
So I just left that in there just to kind of keep that like in the back of my mind if I wanted to reuse them with the new system. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty bare bones.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to share my screen right now. I just want to, well, the question is, do you want to, so I've always just, there's like, we're talking about classification schemes right now, and this is where people get hung up, you know. I've always taught, I always opt for the Wikipedia academic fields just because it's so broad, and, you know, it allows for you, if you ever want to use it for other stuff besides, you know, life sciences and work stuff, it allows for that. So on one hand, we could do the we can set it up kind of like how I set it up with the 1000 is like arts and humanities, 2000. We could pull it up. Let me share my screen here. Let's see, because I want to see if where this would fit. I've never tried to I've never tried to you know, classify autophagy. I don't even know if I said it right.
Autophagy.
Autophagy. Yeah.
There you go.
So here we have it. So I think this would fit into, well, I have the plugin that shows me a little pretty version of Wikipedia. So I map it like the 1000 is arts and humanities. They call them just humanities. 2000 social sciences, 3000 natural sciences, 4000 formal sciences, 5000 applied science. Now the question is, within here,
oh my gosh,
how do you spell autophagy?
like auto, AUTO,
Okay.
PHAGY. I don't know if it's there.
Is
there it is.
Yeah. What academic field would they put this in? Do you know what academic field?
Might be cell biology.
Yeah. Okay.
Like biology.
So we go biology, cell biology.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this. We're gonna build out your AntiNet the Scheperian way, the Scott Scheper way, which is the
is that going in your
fields.
book?
Yeah, that's why that's why it came to mind.
There you go.
We have the Lumanian way and the Scheperian way.
I think it works. I think it works.
Yeah, let's do this. All right, so take out 5 blank cards. We're gonna redo your 1000 to 5000 section. We're gonna ascribe to the, you know, the Wikipedia academic disciplines.
Okay.
All right. So in the here, I'll stop sharing my screen here. Oops. I don't know how to do that. Question is, how do I stop sharing my screen?
Like a red button, not the leave button, but
yeah,
say like stop stop share.
Oops. Yeah, report a problem. You've made sharing difficult. That's weird. Oh, here it is. It's on my second monitor. That's why.
Oh yeah, that thing hides everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop share. There we go. All right, cool. All right. So take out 5 blank note cards.
I got him.
All right. And then on the first one in the middle, write arts and humanities.
Yep. That'll be for 1,000.
Yep, that's 1,000. So yeah, put that in the top right. We'll take out the old 1,000 to 5,000s, and we might be able to, if you have whiteout, we can reuse them, or otherwise,
I have like a
you can,
million of these cards thanks to Amazon.
otherwise, yeah, you could use it for cut it up and use it for cat litter.
I do
I
have
see your
2
cat in
cats.
the back.
Yep. Yeah, that's plenty. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I got that going.
Perfect. All right. Now, second one, right? Social sciences.
Mhm. So, 1,000. Okay.
Okay. And then third one is going to be natural sciences. Yeah, natural sciences. I like that better, plural than singular.
Is it singular on there?
It says, yeah,
Or-
yeah, it's
okay.
singular there.
Yeah, well, now this is like making me think about like how I could definitely take topics and branch them into like different areas, like how you said, you can kind of tie biology to uh
Yeah,
with
social
Lumen.
sciences. Yeah,
Yeah, there
sociology
you
and
go.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason. I think, yeah, you maybe part of the magic that you'll be able to introduce in your papers too is being able to tie together, all of the fields together. Everything's
Mhm.
kind of connected, and I
Mhm.
think that's part of that's one of the reasons I think Lumen gained so much attention, is like he had so many random things that he pieced together,
Yeah.
throughout all the fields. Like he wrote like one of his most popular books he wrote is called Love as Passion. And so, it's like, oh, here's a sociologist, and he's like, writing about love as passion, and then he mixes that with autopiosis from biology
Mhm.
and evolutionary biology, and all of the areas, and he used it for,
Oh wow.
yeah. So yeah, might as well
There it is.
we'll keep it open ended.
Yeah, because I feel like the way I had it, it was like, I don't know. I mean, obviously it wasn't really working for me. But yeah, I think this will simplify it a little
Yeah.
more because I think I was too detailed. But
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll get there. Yeah, yeah. You don't need that many. It's fine to use these top categories because we're gonna have more than enough space within the. Yeah. So natural sciences branch, we create that.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So did you write down natural sciences yet?
Yes, I
Okay.
do have that one.
That one's 3,000, I think.
Mhm.
Right.
I got
Okay.
that one.
All right. The next one is formal sciences,
Okay.
and that one's 4,000.
I'll just show the cards because I like when Nick showed them. So
Yeah. Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, for all the people that are watching.
Yeah, hopefully this helps them. Okay.
And then the last one is applied sciences. That's
Okay.
5,000.
5,000.
Perfect. All right. Now the next one we're going to create is going to be within natural sciences. So
Okay.
create a card for biology. And so in the middle, put biology.
Okay.
And we're going to just arbitrarily choose 3,100 as the branch address for this.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Got that.
Okay, cool. And now we're going to create autophagy, right? And then that is within, I'm looking at, that's in,
So,
yeah, that's within biology, essentially, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's, I say we do just to leave room,
Mhm.
3120 arbitrarily. That way things can kind of collect around this branch.
Okay, so that would be within biology. I don't know. I do have that.
Yeah. Are you whiteouting the other one for it?
I could have, but I use this like little strip thing and I have like long-ish titles, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have that. I have one of those things too. It's a savior.
Oh, seriously. I can't. I found like those old whiteout thing, like pens that you like push
Oh,
down,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
I found
yeah.
that like in my lab, and, like it was totally dried out, but those were the days. Okay, you
Yep.
said 3120.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
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 Now, let's see some of the other cards that you created,
Mhm.
and let's see if we can create some for that.
So what do you mean, like the sections?
Show me your the original 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000 cards you had.
Okay. I'll have those out. Well, like, okay, yeah. So I had this one was my original 1000, if that's what you mean.
Okay.
2000
Yeah.
GPCRs.
What is GPCRs? What does that mean?
So there is certain protein that's a receptor. So it goes like on the periphery of the cell and it
Okay.
like receives, in my case, I'm studying how they receive like neurotransmitters and then signal downstream into the cell. So it's like a specific protein family.
Okay. It
Mhm.
does that, I guess that's its own concept within biology, right?
For sure.
Does it reside within autophagy, or is that its own separate like component?
It's its own signaling component, I would say. Like
Okay.
it's, yeah.
And you'll
Yeah.
probably will you have like a lot to write about that specific thing? Like just
Yeah.
as much as autophagy?
Yeah. So, but the thing is, autophagy and GPCRs are related. Like they do intersect the signaling. So I don't know. Yeah, like if it should be under autophagy, because that's the
That's
context
fine
in which I'm
too.
studying.
It
Yeah.
doesn't, like we can try to approach this hierarchically,
Mhm.
but like it's weird. They're like think of it as leaves on a tree, it's like just
Mhm.
because one leaf is ahead of the other leaf, or whatever, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that this leaf's better than that leaf. It's just the
Uh-huh.
position of them. And you can link them together, so
Mhm.
it doesn't really matter long term. I just like to build up a nice structure early on.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking for
Yeah.
what is it, GCPR or
GPCRs.
GPCR? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm thinking of another acronym like
Yeah, just
GDPR.
like saying random
Yeah.
consonants.
Yeah. GDPR, right? All right.
Yeah.
GPCR. Yeah. So I'm thinking for that we put it at like 3121. Like so it's not like under autophagy. It's
Mhm.
next to.
Okay. 3121. You said?
Yeah. So
Or
why don't
just
we
autophagy?
yeah. So why don't you take that GPCR card
Mhm. Okay.
and let's white out the ID.
You said it would be next to autophagy.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what would it look like if it was under autophagy, like the number?
It would be something like 3120 slash 1.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got 3121.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. And then show me your original, I think 3000.
So 3000 is autophagy and behavior.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a good one. Let's put this within autophagy.
Okay. So it would be
I
3-1. Would these have slashes then?
Well, yes, this one would be 3121/1.
Even if autophagy is 3120.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Okay,
3120/1.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
3120/1. Yeah.
Okay. You said you're in California?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What city?
Downtown San Diego.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I've got the
So
bay.
you got like your office, like that's just your writing center basically.
Yeah. People are like, I'm in an office building. I'm on the 7th floor of this beautiful building. I overlook the bay down there, and the midway. And here I am holed up. There's some random guy holed up here, aka me, building out his brain with note cards and working on the anti-net and writing all day. Yeah.
So a quick question about like your routine, because that's something I'm also kind of like figuring out, because I go to lab all day, I work out in the mornings, and I prefer to write in the morning also.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be in downtown Chicago till like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
During the week, or the weekends. So like what does it look like for you to, come to this office? Like what is usually your schedule? Do you bring like food and
good question.
Stuff like that?
Yeah. So like as far as the routine stuff, I went through this. I'm definitely freshest in the mornings, like, early mornings, so, and I went through this routine where I would I would just go to the office early, but now I've gotten back to, and what I've always done is I always work out like you. I first thing, like in the morning, not first thing, but like, within an hour or two of waking up.
Okay.
And then from there I get to my office here. And I have a lot of like, probably for a section of my book or something, but I have a lot of like routines. Like I turn on a stopwatch, to like time how many hours I'm at the office. And I don't go do work a crazy amount of hours or anything. I just do it so that I can just have a gauge of how long I've been there, been here. And I don't know if you've seen in my other videos, but I have like this cube block timer.
Yes.
I put that on my desk. Yeah. So right now, like I'm cranking out this book, and I'm like at I forget how many. It's insane. It's like, yeah, I looked at it. I have a lot of pictures in it too, but it's like 600 pages right now.
Nice.
And I only started like 2 or 3 months ago, right? So lately what I've been doing is I'm like, I had to cut myself off from doing the research stuff. I have like this, this massive, I don't know, I think this is my basically anti-net book section, and so right now I'm just writing, and I take out the sections of what I'm writing next. These are like the individual sections, and I just I sit down and write. Now when I'm in the research mode, kind of like what you're probably doing, is I used to do 2 hours of reading and bib cards or note writing, so so 2 hours of reading, and then after that I would take like a brief break. I've got a Starbucks in my building, so I'm there like 2 or 3 times a day. I walk in there, like they're like, "Hey, Scott," everyone knows me. Yep. And so I'll break my day up through that. So I'll usually, after the 1 or 2 hours, really the 2-hour block of reading and then extracting the notes, I'll take like a little break, and then I'll go into processing the notes. And by processing the notes, I mean, I'll either, well, if what I imagine you'll be doing, kind of like I told you, is you're going to be writing a lot of the excerpts and reformulations while you read, right? And so usually for me is I will highlight some things on a bib card, and then I will like further write out the note and process it, for the rest of the day. And yeah, so that's my routine. Yeah, I don't know if that helps you at all, but like what's your, so you said
Yeah.
you don't want to you would rather write in the morning because you don't want to be stuck in Chicago till like 8 p.m. or something.
Yeah, or also just like, getting into lab late and then just kind of having to finish some experiments like later on during the day because I started later. But it's also just finding a balance because I mean, like writing is also a significant part of my studies. So I've mostly, honestly, I've been kind of avoiding the writing process. Like I've been doing some reading and like I said, experimenting with like a Word document annotated bibliography. That's actually more concise than what I'm doing, what I did with the staging cards. But I haven't connected the ideas because it's just, I'm like, I feel like I'm not ready yet, and I think I just need to kind of start writing at some point.
Well, yeah, I think for me, the thing that makes the writing easy is like I literally just go through these cards and it's like practically the book is, it's kind of like already written for me almost, like I go down and just read. But the thing is that a lot of this stuff, when it kills writer's block because I just look at the cards and start typing in what I wrote, but I rephrase it. You relearn it, what you've written, and you rephrase it while you're writing. So it like, before you know it, you're like, man, it's, and then you expand on it while you're writing it into the editor and stuff.
Yeah.
So it really kills writer's block if you do it this way. I think the thing is, so do you have time? What you're saying is like you if you could, you would like to write earlier in the day. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it's like I think I also just need to understand I don't need to write for 8 hours a day. Like it could just be a couple hours, even just like 1 hour in the morning. Because I like once I get started, like I can get started.
Yeah.
Or I can get stuff done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a routine where writing is part of my day. And I think that's gonna bite me in the ass at some point sooner than later.
not if you not if you do, not if we figure this thing out. So I think if we can carve out like Antonin Sertalanges, he's a intellectual and great, and he's famous for saying all you need is 2 hours a day to do great intellectual work. 2 hours of quiet, even an hour, right? Like if you have that, it's fine. It's more than enough. If you build out your knowledge, I think in this using note cards, you'll be shocked with how much it compiles. But yeah, to me, it sounds like if you could in the mornings work out and then carve out an hour, of using a block timer or something, and you're right, it shouldn't be just writing. It should actually be, by going through this paper, you already just written, like that bib card, that's your writing essentially. And all you have to do is break that into individual cards and file it properly, so it's like it's your you writing is not just you thinking about, basically what we want to avoid is you actually having to think hard when you sit down to write, because all the hard work is going to come from reading and extracting and then putting it on note cards, so did that answer that question?
Definitely, because I think it's just also kind of a perspective, because I've done a lot of this in isolation, because of pandemic and all that stuff, and just getting into the habit of not really asking for help. And so finally I'm just like, all right, I like to learn hands-on. I like to like watch how people do stuff. And once I get a sense of it, I'm like, oh, okay. It's kind of like cooking. Like you do it, you watch someone do it, you follow a recipe, and then, you could just start to do it. So that's my process. It's like the how I've written this book is not by actually what I'm doing, which is writing the book. How I've written the book is actually by reading, and then writing my notes and reflections and reformulations and putting it in here. And then from here, like after I think I started actually doing my research in I think June or July of last year, and then so I did my research was in
the book was kind of written in, from June or July to maybe February, and then starting in February, I'm like, okay, I have enough cards. Once you hit enough cards, you're like, I just need to start writing this out. And then you go through it,
Right.
start writing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think for me, it's kind of twofold. Well, I think it's just the main component, like you said, just writing out the cards.
Yes.
From the readings, and then because I definitely wanted to elaborate more on in terms of like the notes that I was taking on the bibliography card, but I'm like, okay, chill. Like this is just the bib card.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's what do we have so far? Where are we at?
So we have the autophagy and behavior.
Okay, cool.
Under autophagy.
Yeah. And then you're filing that basically behind autophagy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And then I think I only had 4 of them. So yeah, I just have these 2 now. Tissue specific autophagy functions, and then autophagy components. So that means like the proteins mostly.
Yeah, cool. So let's put each of these under the autophagy branch.
Okay.
I literally have it up here on my second monitor, so I can just pronounce it.
Well, use it. Yeah. Okay. So that would be /2, basically 3120/2.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll keep it. Yes. Okay. All right, I got those going.
Okay. All right. Now let's go back to the bib card. So, well, I guess first off, we should celebrate you've got your main box of your main part of your anti-net actually built out. So
okay. All
yes.
right. That's progress for
now. Exactly. Now let's go to the bib card. Let's see that.
Okay. All right. So I have the bib card.
Okay. So can you explain to me what the first bullet point means? The first one?
Yeah, so I'm basically reminding myself in the first point, like what was the context of this paper? And it was to find genetic factors that basically help cancers become resistant to what are known as CDK4 or 6 inhibitors. So and then I give an example called palbociclib. I don't study cancer, so this is kind of new to me. But yeah, I was basically telling myself, like, why did they do this research?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what that means.
Yeah, that's basically, it's kind of like the overview of it. Okay.
Setting the stage of why this paper was done.
Okay. What we should do right now, let's go through these and let's find a good main note. Let's find a good main note to create from one of these.
Okay. Okay. I get the card now. Okay.
Yeah. So tell me what the second one reads, or second one means.
This
second bullet.
This one tells me what they did in this paper and like to get to where they were. And basically they did a genome-wide screen, which basically it's like an unbiased way of trying to find a gene that makes the cancer cells basically replicate when they're treated with this, because that means, I didn't explain the screen, but the screen is, they find these genes by basically deleting their function, for lack of a better explanation. And then they see which of the genes that were deleted allow the cells to proliferate, despite being treated with something that normally stops them from proliferating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we were to create a main card for that, like where under any of the stuff, any of the main notes would you put that?
I could say,
And we don't have to use this one. We can keep going,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I think this is more of like a very generalized technique that people do, but this is the readout that they did was basically looking for proliferation. It's just, it differs depending on what you're looking for. But I think if I were, yeah, I think a different main note or a different note would be better, because this is
You're still
just
kind of
telling
in
me
the
how,
intro. Yeah.
yeah,
You're
this is
still
telling
kind
me
of,
how they came up with it. Like, did they just guess, oh, let's look at Amber 1?
Yeah.
No, they did an unbiased
Okay.
screen, basically. Yeah.
Okay. That's like basically their method.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is some background on what, this is a quote from them, and it's saying like, what we already know when you knock out, which is what the KO means, what we already know what happens when you knock out this protein. And then RBI is another protein that I'm not too familiar with. But we already know that when you knock it out, it impairs the ability for cells to not proliferate. So basically, when you knock it out, they're allowed to proceed with the cell cycle and proliferate, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So it prevents it. Does it essentially prevent the it from cleaning itself?
Not necessarily. It's just I know it gets a little complicated because that's how I
Maybe we
introduced
shouldn't.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's saying like, well, we already know that when you delete it, it allows the cells to proceed with the cell cycle, which is separate from the degradative functions that it has. But even though we know this, we didn't really know this in the context of cancer related inhibitors. So that's why this paper is unique, you know, because yeah, it's giving a specific setting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was like the next question. It's like what is the most, what is the most irresistible and important and like the breakthrough idea, in this that you could then write, that you would want to either be reminded of or write about. That's the question. So
yeah.
Or is that an example of one thing?
Actually, because this, sorry, let me check, because this also could have just been in the abstract where they just kind of already tell you what they find and not necessarily, well, good thing I put it in quotes because I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do. I know it was a finding in their paper. So I don't know if you want me to share the screen, maybe.
Sure. So there was a finding in the paper that was like
that was, yeah. So, so this part that I quoted was a finding from the paper. It wasn't something they were citing from another paper. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's what they found in their experiment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, yeah. So you got the gist. Yeah, because they didn't cite anything with that, and I didn't put the citation here. Okay. So let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. What to you seems like a good, like a main note, like a good main note, either like the big, I mean, you can select multiple of them, but let's just choose one to start with.
Okay. This one here. I think this part where I was talking about how it has autophagy functions. Number one can promote autophagy. There's the citation and inhibit mTOR activity, which is also involved in autophagy, and MIC, all of which can affect cell cycle progression. So this is like connecting the two, autophagy and cell cycle progression. And then this is the newer function that they find that it also controls the protein levels of cyclin that is important in cell cycle progression. So that's where it's specifically it's connecting specific components of autophagy to two separate functions, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it's still a little fuzzy, but I think it kind of makes sense. I think this would be a good one to write out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So let's pull out a main card and let's write this part out.
Okay. Is that
or
the
a blank
color
card?
ones?
A blank card. Sorry, blank
A
card.
blank one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Blank card. And so I would just, should I copy this or just?
Well, so when you write your papers, you know, like who's your audience and like what do you kind of have a general idea of the context? Like what kind of paper do you foresee yourself writing?
For like a scientific journal article. So this would probably be part of my introduction of background, like basically saying like, we know autophagy proteins can also have other functions outside of autophagy. And specifically, you know, they regulate other protein levels, like through other mechanisms.
Yes.
So the audience
Okay, cool.
is other academics, scholars, scientists.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, I think the title and the main idea of this note, we're basically going to rewrite this, and you're going to rewrite it as if you're writing for your audience. I like to, say like write as if you're teaching, write as if you're, teaching or writing to an audience. So that's how we're going to write this one.
Okay.
So write it as if it's going to be used as a paragraph in your paper.
Okay. Okay. So, okay.
I think the title of it that I imagined is like multiple functions of multiple functions of autophagy. Right. Something like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Or like a common phrase I also see is like non-autophagic. They just put like non in front of it.
Yeah. Non-auto. Yeah, it's funny. This is from autophagogetosis. That's what I see as like the Greek term. It's like autophagy or autophagogetosis. It's like thankfully they used autophagy instead of that word.
We got a shortened version.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So that would be the title. Let me put my thing on do not disturb. Okay, so that would be the title. Let's say multiple functions or non-autophagic functions of autophagy proteins.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do.
And then always leave room in the top right for the address.
Okay, and this is like the main idea of this specific card.
Yes.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which is basically going to be a little bit neater and more sentence version of what is on your bib card.
Okay. Okay. So more concise, more put together, and neater, and maybe not in quotation. Because
Yeah.
You don't quote things in academic articles. Like
Yeah.
they don't just quote. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
the same. Okay.
Yeah. Rewrite it in your own words. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got that.
Cool. Okay. What I like to do is underline it because that's the title, basically.
Okay. Underline.
Okay. Now let's write this out.
So let's see. I don't know. Okay. Because I can also make this. Oh no. So it would be specific to this Umbra 1 protein, because I was also imagining to say just generally that we know that autophagy proteins have other functions, and then Umbra 1 is an example that's known to do this with autophagy and now to regulate other protein levels.
Yeah.
Different mechanism.
Okay.
Maybe.
So I think how to start it would be is exactly what you kind of just said. It's like we know that there's multi or non-autophagy functions in cells. For example, and then the Ambra 1, and then write that out.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right. Let's see it. Perfect. Okay. Now what we'll do is now we need to reference it. So pull out, do you have a red pen or a colored pen?
Yes, I have a red pen.
I like to use red for references, so
Okay.
what I like to do, so in at the bottom now, do bottom left,
Okay.
put in parentheses the what is it called, the last name of,
Like this. Pretty much like how I have it.
yes, what is it, Tchaikovsky?
Yeah.
Yes. So do, what is that name? Yeah, Andrea Tchaikovsky. Yeah, so write in Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
at the bottom of that card. And then comma, and then the page number.
My pen. No. Oh, okay. So I think for my purposes, I think maybe including the journal and the year is more relevant because like sometimes like I don't know, the page numbers, what is that more so like I can go back to like find it in the paper or just like is
Yeah.
this should this reference be more to like just this is what I found in the paper or like where I found it in the paper?
This is like where you found it in the paper.
Mhm,
Yeah.
okay.
So whenever you write this section in, or type this
Mhm,
section in or whatever, this enables, now that you have the author's name and page number, enables the person to go, straight to it. Now, when you
mhm,
when you actually use a Microsoft Word or something, what
mhm.
do you use to write?
I use a Microsoft Word with the Zotero
Yeah,
plugin.
cool.
Mhm.
So in that case, you're gonna put in the the Zotero reference, or the however you do footnote, or do you do the author date or author year?
I think it depends on like the citation formatting, but usually I'll put like the superscript number and then the references will have like the number corresponding to the order
Yes.
that I cited it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like
Yeah.
a footnote type thing.
Yeah, but the footnote is like the references cited
Yeah.
at the end of it. Yep. But yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay. So but yeah, this is so that when you write this section in, you will
Mhm.
you'll also have it'll reference and point to the page number of that of where you got this from,
Oh, wow. Okay. Mhm.
right? Because that's where you got it from, this Tchaikovsky article, right?
Yeah.
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 Now,
So, yeah.
yeah. Now,
So something like that.
yep, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, when you write it in Word, you're not just going to put Tchaikovsky, but 794. You're going to actually have it reference the Zotero,
Mhm.
version of uh, Tchaikovsky, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
an alternative way. So, do you have Zotero on that
Yes.
and on that computer?
Yes, I do have it.
And do you have that Tchaikovsky
Paper.
yeah,
Yeah.
paper? Okay.
Yes.
Let's see that. Here, share your screen for that. Have you seen me use Zotero and how I do it with like the tags?
I I don't think I have
Okay.
actually. So
All right.
okay. I guess I could just share the desktop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the paper, right?
Yes, this one right here.
Okay. Now there should be, I think you have a click the view. Oh wait, I guess, oh yeah, you have it down there. Yeah. So click down below, you see tags.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So what I like to do, click add tag and
Mhm.
then type in R lowercase and then period and then put in Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
Yeah. And then hit enter. Okay. So what I'm showing you, this is like another alternate way of doing what we just did. So on the card, on that main card you just created, yeah, uh, instead of just putting Tchaikovsky, 794, what I do sometimes, you'll see on my cards, is I'll put like R, which stands for reference, R dot Tchaikovsky 794. That way it's easy for me. Like I can go back. All I have to do in Zotero is type in R dot Tchaikovsky to find it.
Mhm. Okay.
That way, if you have multiple Tchaikovsky articles,
Uh-huh.
you'll
Yeah.
automatically spot it. You'll see like r.Tchaikovsky, and then when you go to add another tag, it'll be like r.Tchaikovsky2, r.Tchaikovsky3. You can either even come up with shorter versions. I sometimes will just, you could put like r.Chai, 1.
So it's the R is standing for reference, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And that
I'm just
signals
doing
to
that
me,
in my mind.
yeah. And it auto completes, auto populates, so that signals to me that way, if you have a ton of journals to get through, you don't have to necessarily create a bib card for every single one. You could just put it in
Right.
Zotero and then reference it by doing r.Tchaikovsky and then page number. Right.
Wow. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's something I think that'll save you a lot of time and stuff. And that way, when you're going through these and writing your actual paper, all you have to do is go to find the reference, just search Zotero for r.Tchaikovsky, and then I think how do you integrate in Microsoft Word? How do you write your papers and stuff?
Okay, so like this is like one paper, let's say. Okay, so like this is, yeah, this is like an annotated bibliography. So like, oh wait, actually, can you not show that first part?
I didn't even see it.
Well, it just,
want me to edit that part out?
Yeah, I don't know how to like explain it.
Yeah,
I could like restart, like, okay, this is how I do it.
Yeah, no worries. Just do a new document, hit Command N.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have like a Zotero plugin or something?
Yes.
Do they have
I
that?
here? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually used this, but let's see.
It's super neat. So like, yeah, so Cell Journals is like a certain top journal, and they have their own way of formatting, so that it'll ask me like, how do you want to do it? And then I have like other ones, I think,
Okay.
like Harvard. But I use this one because that's a superscript.
Yeah, so click OK.
And then,
oh yeah, type in r.chai. Wonder if it can pull it up. I've never done it this way.
okay, so I did classic view. Maybe if I can like
Chai.
Well, I also don't have the
Yeah, that's fine. Hit cancel.
Okay.
I think here's what I do. Let me show you. I've never used this this Microsoft Word plugin. Or you can pull up you can pull up do the screen share again.
Oh.
I mean, I think you might have your own method. I'll just show you my method, and maybe this will help you too. Is go back to Zotero. And then we have r.Tchaikovsky. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so click on that entry. Go to the
one that
you're just on. I think if you type type that. So select that and then hit Command Shift A. Okay, now go back to Word and then hit Command V. Oh, that's weird. I don't think it didn't fully post it. Yeah, maybe. Oh, that's because they like to do that superscript thing. Yeah, go back to Zotero.
Okay, I see.
And then right click and then do, I think, create bibliography from item. Yep, and then hit citations.
Citations. Okay.
Yeah, hit OK. Yeah, then go back to Word. I'm sure you'll find a better way. Yeah, and paste. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's bibliography that we want.
Yeah, so like I wish there was.
Oh, wait, maybe it's popping up.
No.
Just type in Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
Oh, there he
it
is. Okay. Guess that
Enter.
doesn't search tags. Yeah, hit enter. Oh. And it just
Oh,
adds, it gives you the one. Oh, because you need to create a bibliography, not just the.
I think so. Oh,
There it
yeah.
goes.
Well, I don't know which one it
Okay.
was that they detected.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Well, I
I'm not
do.
sure on this notation, but I think you would
Yeah.
I think you would just, instead of the 794 to 798, I think you would
Mhm.
just, you see out at the very end of that reference,
Yes.
and maybe, I don't know how if how scientific journals do this stuff. I don't
Mhm.
even know if they require the page number or stuff.
Usually, no. It's just like how I have it on my bib card, like Tchaikovsky et al. Journal is Nature, as you can see here,
Okay.
and then the year.
So
That's like usually, yeah, shorthand.
yeah. So you don't really need to cite the page number.
No, no, not really.
Yeah.
Not at
Okay.
all, actually, I should say. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well then, yeah, in that case, you don't even have to put the page number in.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just
That
cite the
makes
journal.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So can I stop sharing?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there is any benefit to doing the page number in your case, just in case you want to go back and revisit where you actually got that idea or something, you know?
I would like to double check, like once I'm like, yeah, just so I don't make the mistake of, not citing something correctly.
Yeah.
Just in case, someone
Yeah.
like me happens to catch it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
So
can keep it. It's not a big deal. So
yeah,
I could try it out.
yeah. All right. So now let's figure out where to install this card.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so where would you put this card? Like, let's look through the anti-net now.
So definitely in biology. So I have autophagy and behavior. Definitely, I keep saying definitely. I think autophagy components would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like one of the components.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's put it under autophagy components.
Okay.
So
So
what number is it? Yeah. 3120/2. Okay, so we're going to put it at 3120/2/1.
2/1. Do you write that in different colors? I don't remember.
No, I do it in the same, all in the same color.
Like,
yeah.
Just the citations different.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Now, once you start getting the hang of it, you're gonna want to add your own scheme, your own convention, your own personality to this thing.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I used to have a million colored pens. And then I was like,
go
all
find
right,
them.
we're throwing those away. Yeah.
No.
You're not into the color coding. Just stick to black and blue and maybe red.
Yeah.
And that's saved my life, honestly. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there it is.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Oh my gosh.
Now, you see how it's building out now? You're like chaining stuff together.
Okay. Yeah.
And see what you've just written, believe it or not, like, I know it seems like a small paragraph or a small thing. Once you actually start writing that into Word and elaborating on it and like into different contexts and stuff, like I have cards that they look like, they look like that, but then I'll turn it into like, 2 massive paragraphs and it's like boom, and it just explodes. And then the other thing, because what you've just done, if you can do like an hour a day in the mornings of this, you're writing your paper, because when you sit down, like you can't just sit down and start writing it with a blank slate. You're doing all of the hard thought and thinking like right then and there. So that's like the writing. The writing is like the pre-processing stuff. And by the time you get to this, like writing the actual paper in like I don't know, like 3 months, whatever it is, time,
Yeah.
It's going to be, you're going to have like a bunch more context and stuff like that. So you're going to add and elaborate even more on that note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, it definitely is the starting part that's just kind of been like the barrier for me. And I'm, just like putting it off, but I can't just keep putting off putting things together. And I think this is a system that could help a lot.
Yeah. The momentum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you show me your index right now? Let's build that out.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So for you, let's see, I took notes on your thing with Nick. So the index, yeah, that one was another confusing part for me, like in terms of how could I incorporate it. So I think my index was like a lot more different. It was different than what you described it to be, but this is like before I saw that video. And these are topics I don't really have relevant anymore.
Yeah, that's fine. Still keep that in your anti-net and stuff. It's just that's the thing. It's like never throw away, never delete, like we're just going to evolve around it. And then that's kind of what you've created is essentially kind of like a table of contents that you had planned, So let's build out your index. What we're going to do, you have those colored cards, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Hell yeah.
That's the best part.
This is it's funny, like using all this stuff, it's like I've gone into Office Depot like down here in San Diego, and it looks literally like a ghost town. There's this like,
oh yeah,
it's like there's no one's in the parking lot, like, it's just like freaking, shrubs rolling in the wind. And then I roll up and I start buying like all these note cards, colored note cards. I feel like I'm in school again, it's like now you get to make use of all this stuff. So
yeah. And but then sometimes they have like 5 employees. I'm like, how are you guys getting hours?
I know. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So doesn't matter what color, right?
It's all arbitrary. Okay. So let's pull out the first one in the top left corner. Put A.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Now you're going to do the same B, C, D, E, and then all the way to Z.
Okay. So are those on separate cards, right?
Yeah, separate cards.
Okay. So do you have more sessions planned out too after this? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I've got like I think 2 or 3 more.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I stopped promoting it, putting in my email, because this is a thing for me to help, so I can learn how to teach others in a more clear fashion and better, so I was like, I'm only doing this for a short time and I'm staying true to that. So you're one of the lucky ones.
I was so nervous. I'm like, I should just cancel. No, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be ridiculous. And then my boyfriend's like, at the last minute, no.
Yeah.
like,
Nice.
It's like, you've been wanting to do this, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Awesome. But, glad you're doing it.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, this is my thing. I got into the habit of just not asking for help because of just the culture of grad school, which I never thought I'd fall victim to. I'm like, fuck them. But
yeah,
it wears on you a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I know. I think everyone, no matter what environment they're in, we all fall into that same.
Yeah.
Same scheme,
Yeah. So I've been curious, does your fiance also do this system? Because I know she's also in a PhD, right?
That's funny. Yeah. I'm this past weekend I was going to walk her through it and show her. She's going to be using it for psych testing, but she hasn't built it out yet.
Oh.
I didn't want to be like, oh, you need to do this, but yeah, she's going to be doing it soon.
Nice.
Yeah. So
is that going to be part of like her thesis also, or like the psych testing?
Yeah. And I think she also just wants it for use and just because that's kind of gonna be her main like career, her main specialty, psych testing. So she wants to have it because there's just so many things to know. She wants to have it just for her own personal, applied use.
Yeah.
Not for her dissertation
Okay.
necessarily. Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like a system for her to have in her back pocket, basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want me to do the whole alphabet? Just
Yeah.
checking.
Yeah.
Okay. We are on J.
We might as well get you
fair
all
enough.
set up right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my fiance, I was gonna show her this past weekend, and she's like, you just wanted to teach me, like, just teach me regularly, right? Did you? You're not gonna make me do like a full on recorded session, right?
Yep, you got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it.
I'm like, no, don't worry, I won't make you do the recorded
Pay the
session.
$100. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The $100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You
I was
know,
like,
it's
no,
hard
I
times
got
out
you.
there now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's funny. Um,
When's your paper, when are you gonna like planning on having something written by?
Actually, by the summer,
Like
because I
August?
transferred. Yeah, I would say like August, because I'm also having a baby shower, so the summers are just going to be kind of busy for me, and I also
Oh,
have to
nice.
submit my thesis proposal
Your own
by
your
like
own baby
September
shower?
1st. Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
you're gonna be quite busy.
Oh boy, yes, I am. Yes, so I mean, I'm excited. Do what you can, and the good thing is, like, now with grad programs, they've been much more generous with well, I mean, maybe not all of them, with like childcare stuff,
Really? That's
kind of
awesome.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends, like if it's a public university or not.
Mhm.
I'm sure that plays a factor, but I don't feel it could be worse,
Yeah.
is what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would be a lot worse. But now people are a lot more understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, yeah, like for me, I'm fortunate enough to be able to have like a 12-week like paid parental leave, which would be
Oh,
like my
nice.
maternity leave. Yeah.
Oh, you should transfer over to a European university. So you and your boyfriend, I guess don't they have like a year paternity for men?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something to think about. I
Yeah.
gotta churn out this PhD. All right, we got the whole alphabet nice and colored.
Okay, cool. So first thing we're gonna do is I want you to write. This is kind of just shows you how the index works. Take
Okay.
out the B card,
Mhm.
and then on the first line under it,
Uh-huh.
write biology,
Okay.
and then colon.
Is that the 2 dots or the dot and the comma?
That's the 2 dots.
Okay.
Yeah. Semicolon is the other one.
Oh, there you go. I should have known that. Okay. Colon. Yep.
Don't worry, I'm just teaching a PhD, grammar stuff.
Basic grammar. Yeah. That's the next video I need help on.
Yeah. All right. So this one, biology would be, was it 3,100?
Actually, I think it was, yes, 3,100.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, next to the right, 3100. I like to write them in quotes, just
Okay.
so it's kind of like a link.
Okay, so that's just saying like this is the card number, like
Yeah.
like a citation kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a ref. It's a link,
Okay.
a card link. So like, you're gonna have these build, built up.
That-
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So you use your index kind of like whenever you think of like a human friendly, human readable term, you're like, okay, where is that in my anti-net? Because it's going to start to
Mm,
get big, once you start using it
mm,
more and more. And
mm.
that's what this index is for.
Okay.
So then the next one we'll do, pull out the A card.
And I'm guessing autophagy.
Yep.
Okay. That one was 3120. All right. That's
Yep.
that.
Perfect. Now, show me the most recent card that you created. Is that 3120/2/1?
Like the main note that I did?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Okay, cool. So one of the key terms I think on that one is that Ambra 1, right? So let's create an index entry for that too. You see how it kind of like cross
Yeah.
references,
And
So
like
we have,
doing it in real time because I'm not going to do this after. I'm going to probably forget.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, in the beginning, you have like nothing. So you want to create a lot of index entries, but I always tell people like, don't get index fatigue, like, don't feel like for every single card, for every single thing, you have to create an index entry, just for the stuff that you'll want to be able to find later, create an index entry for it, a key term,
Okay.
for it.
Okay. So I think did you have Nick underline it? Like the word
Yes.
on the
Yeah, on the main card. Yeah, do that. Aha,
Yes,
I was
yeah.
quizzing you.
Yeah. Okay. And then so I do the same thing, but I put 31/2, 3120/2/1.
Yep. That way, anytime you want to, branch or create knowledge under Ambra 1, you put it under that.
Okay. Okay. So I would so if I had like another card, because the other paper also talks about Ambra 1, but they found it in a different way. It does this, like they found the same function. So what I just do like comma and then quote 3120/ whatever.
No, in that case, what you probably will want to do is when you write a main card about that in Ambra 1 in that context, what I would do is I would create it as 3120/2/1A, because it's kind of a variant of the the first Ambra 1, right?
Yeah.
That way you don't have to create an index entry because the index entry is already there for Ambra 1. You'll just follow the chain and follow the chain of all of the cards that are very closely related to Ambra 1. Now, one more thing. Let's say on that new one, let's say you come across a card or you're writing a card that's like in 3121 or something like that, right? And it relates to Ambra 1. What you'll then want to do is you just create on that card, you'll say, for more on Ambra 1, see 3120/2/1. So you can like link across your different cards and trees because every single card has its own address.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I guess for the viewers, if I was what do you call it? If I was reading a paper and then they mention Ambra 1, it's somehow involved in GPCRs.
Yep.
I don't have to elaborate it under GPCRs, I could just say, see
Exactly.
Umbra one where I mentioned it before. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And in Umbra 1, you don't necessarily need to create the link back to it, like the backwards compatible links, that's kind of like overblown. Like you just want like forward links, and stuff.
Okay.
And then but yeah, exactly. So you're beginning to kind of see it. It's kind of like this, it's like this branched little system. And then above that branch sits your index that allows you to like navigate in between everything.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. So everything past this, so once it becomes like 1A, 1B, or like 1A/1, I know is
exactly.
another one.
Yep. Or you can also do, if it continues on, specifically towards that, you can use that the first main note, you can do 3120/2/1/1, if it continues. But I suggest the 1A for that other paper, because it's kind of like a variation in which
Right.
Ambra 1 has. I think, I kind of like to think of it as genetic variations, are like letter A, B, C, D, and then
Right.
whereas if you want to continue on developing down that idea, you branch down and you go /1/2/3. Yeah.
Okay. So that's something like I know you've also said on your Reddit, like that's just totally up to you. And
Yes.
but yeah, having like examples helps, and me doing it here is like, oh, okay, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then, yeah, I don't think there's any other word for like to add to my index.
Yeah, for that main card. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So what we can do now, if you want, do you have any, I was going to suggest we create another main note or something, either in that current literature or the other literature that you, but do you have anything specific that you think we should cover, or any questions that?
No, this is very helpful, because I didn't think, I think first, what do you call it? The hierarchy, the sections were the main thing, because I think, like I said, I was too detailed. But yeah, I do want to see what it would look like if I was connecting another piece of literature, like another main note that I have.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And can you show me real quick do you have your bibliography section?
Yeah, I have other stuff. Yeah, I do have my bibliography section. Let's see. So it's just like behind everything, basically.
Yeah. And is that alphabetized?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
I have,
cool.
like the dividers
by the like author's last name.
Yes. Yeah. That's how I organize them.
Cool.
Okay. So next paper is.
So you're not up for hauling around your whole anti-net with you wherever you go, huh?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So initially I was taking the bus. And it was fine, because it's like so bulky. I could put it like on the chair next to me and no one sits to me.
Yeah.
I was that asshole.
Yeah.
But like, what are you gonna do? Fight me. But yeah, no, I'm still trying to figure out, because I kind of don't want to have to copy everything from my annotated bibliography onto. It could be a main note at this point instead of the bib card. Like you mentioned, like I'll still have my bibliography card, but maybe it won't have the staging part. Is that how how you would recommend it? Because I would be going straight from the reading, but I still keep the bibliography card, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess I kind of got lost there a little bit in the.
So like, let's say, so like this is the third paper, let's say that I didn't start reading, so like I don't have anything on it.
Okay.
So if I go straight from the text to the main cards, like you were suggesting,
Mm-hmm.
I just need to keep this part, right? Like, would I also add staging notes? You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah. How many papers do you have to process? Is it like a ton? You know?
Usually, yeah, like at the end of the writing process, it could be upwards of like 50 to like almost like over 100 citations.
Yeah. Okay. For your paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I'm writing like a proposal, it's a lot of like background
Yeah. Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah.
I would just, yeah, I would do that. What you just said,
Mhm,
without creating bib cards on the back or bib
mhm,
notes on the back.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And then go
Okay.
straight from one step, paper to extracting into a main card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that works because yeah,
Yeah.
it saves an extra step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'll caution that. I'll say that like that's for because you're building out your material,
Mhm,
like once you
mhm,
have a chunk, you're going to be able to
mhm.
start using the bib card again for the brief notes. You don't have to like write out
Mhm.
and reformulate everything,
I
so
see.
you're going to hit a
Yeah.
transition. Like first you want to like, yeah. So,
So I like another way I was thinking too. Oh boy, I hope I didn't throw them away. No, I did. So I guess like maybe another way I could do like a bib card. So this is like the original way or the first way I started doing it. I put like the citation down here. I still had the goal and then, but I would put like the subsections. I wouldn't elaborate on anything. I would just
mhm,
put like it basically tells me what the paper talks about.
is about.
And these are the subsections or subheadings that were like bolded in the paper. So I just
Mhm.
copy those. So
Do you
maybe
do you
that could
find
be
do you find it
something.
like super helpful and that helps you actually read it and process it?
Yeah, like if it's like a similar, like if I'm trying to find a certain finding, usually that's what these subheadings are in the paper. Like it's kind of like a concise conclusion. So yeah, I mean it's more of like an anticipation as to why I write these rather than me having found myself needing to go back to the paper, like I was hoping this would be more of like a shortcut.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah, I
and
think
it's
I
yeah.
think it's recommended to do for the reason, the way I got the outlining,
Mhm,
that part is
mhm.
because it's from a classic book by Mortimer Alder, or Adler, called literally the title is How to Read a Book. And it's like
Oh
one of the most
yeah.
popular, yeah. And he calls it X-raying, where you like X-ray a book by writing out its like table of contents and stuff. So
Mhm,
um, you know, I make mine very brief because I don't want to get you wrote out a very detailed one. You don't want to
mhm.
like the thing you're battling, you don't want to like get fatigued and burn out by writing a super detailed overview each
Yeah.
time. I would keep that card very simple and get,
Mhm.
save your energy for the actual reading.
Yeah, because that is true. That's exactly what was like happening to me. I was spending, 3 hours on a paper. So I wanted
Exactly.
to like, yeah, just basically rewriting it on a on a fucking bib card.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a thing you're gonna also have to balance though with this the
Mhm,
book to extract or the paper to
mhm,
extract method. It's easy to
mhm,
get bogged down,
mhm,
Um, so, but in the beginning that's fine because you want to start creating materials on these main cards so that you can
mhm.
continue to evolve it and like,
Right.
but then soon I think, once you have enough a chunk of stuff in your main box, for this
Mhm,
upcoming paper, then
mhm.
you can move and transition to the using the bib card again, being a lot more concise.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that being a thing. Because also I don't need every section, every finding in every paper. Sometimes it's just like, oh, this is how they did it. And I might need this technique for my experiments. Other papers, I just need like more of a conceptual breakdown, like you said, like an understanding of a concept. Um, Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see how that will evolve eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have it in your arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we could do one more main note.
Yeah, that second paper probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want me to pull it up on the screen or just show the bib card?
Yeah, let's just see the bib card.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the bib card, and they basically specify like what phase of cell cycle progression is affected when you perturb or just like mess around with the Umbra-1 presence.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the cyclin D again. And then my goal was to find parallels between this mechanism and then like the protein that I'm interested in, which is POI.
POI. Okay.
Yeah.
How does that relate to the Ambra-1? I saw that there's the Ambra-1 there too. Or what is it? Yeah, Ambra-1.
Yeah. So this was just basically another paper that found that has the same finding where Umbra-1 regulates the levels of cyclin D, but they did it through a different way, but they still came to like the same conclusion basically.
Okay.
So that's why they were able to be published like back to back, which normally doesn't really happen. Like they'll reject probably like all three papers and then just say like, we only need one because this is a novel finding, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so this is some background. MTC is maintenance. So it's just like why having certain checkpoints during the cell cycle process is important.
Mm-hmm.
And then not to get like into too many details, but like cells as you're developing as an embryo or whatever, they have like their own fates and they start from different progenitor cells, like precursor cells basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's controlled, as it says here, 2 major signaling pathways, and that's the MEG pathway and then this cyclin D CDK.
Mm-hmm.
So Umbra-1 has been linked to controlling. Also, sorry, let me see. Okay, so this could probably be a main note, like it's
It
an
has been linked.
autophagic, yeah, tumor suppressor protein. See, because before I didn't mention tumor suppressor.
So they're saying Ambra-1 is also a tumor suppressing protein?
Yeah, an autophagic, but I don't really know what that means in terms of like the mechanism. Let's see.
Autophagic.
You know what I mean? I don't know. This is confusing.
So Ambra-1. Yeah, so you're saying like you don't know what okay,
The
so
tumor,
what
yeah.
autophagic what they mean by autophagic or
Yeah, in the context of being a tumor suppressor, like does it degrade certain things? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about Umbra-1 either because it's it's one of the many proteins, but
yeah. Oh, I see you underlined Ambra-1. Yeah, and we don't even necessarily need to stick to Ambra-1 either in this main note, you know.
Okay.
But like, what what do you think is like the most? What do you think is I don't know, a good main note to start with that that is like the most interesting thing you found in the paper?
Let's see. I guess, let's see. Because my first main note, let's see. The first main note was generally that it regulates the protein levels and stability of cyclin D. I think a good main note would be to sort of specify like what the implications are of this, like maybe for example, like in the absence of AMBRA1, here's another page, enhanced proliferation is observed when you deplete AMBRA1.
Okay.
And that's like in the context of cell cycle proliferation.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe a main note on like basically like title is like, here's what happens when you delete Umbra1. Oh, is it cat saying hi?
Yeah, say hi,
cute.
buddy. Oh, okay. Now I know. Okay.
I've got 2 cats.
Right.
I love them.
What kind of cats are they?
They're ragdolls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I got Brodus. He's my boy. He's my stud. He's awesome. And then I've got another one named, she's like a big white fluff ball ragdoll, and her name is Princess Fiona. And
oh my God, we have a fluffy princess also. she's a black Maine Coon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this one is the Bombay named Brahmin. Yeah.
Brahmin?
Brahmin, yeah.
Like ramen noodle.
Kind of. It's Brahmin.
Oh, okay.
Brahmin. Yeah.
So that's like
buddy.
like a god or something.
I don't remember, but my boyfriend adopted them, and I think that was their names. Except Princess was named Sherry before, and he said,
"Oh, okay,
no. we're gonna change that."
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I know it's dinner time. Okay.
He wants his fancy feast.
Yeah, he wants in on the action. Okay, buddy. We can't. Sorry. A minute. Okay. Where was I?
I think we kind of figured out a good main card, which is
yeah, I think I lost.
I think it's what happens. Yeah. This is one of the downsides of these analog systems is your cat will eat it and run off with it.
Definitely at some point. Yeah. Spending too much time here.
Yeah. Okay. I think it was like what happens when Ambra 1 is removed.
Depleted. Yeah. Depleted. Loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that could be something specific about like a consequence of when you lose this protein, basically, or lose its function. Okay, so so now this is where it's like, okay, how am I going to connect these 2 papers? Because it could be related to cyclin D, which is sort of like one of the gatekeepers of when a cell can continue to proliferate, basically, or not.
Well, we don't need to like figure out how to connect the papers.
Okay.
We just need to create one card, one main note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think you should expect to create maybe like 2 or 3 more main notes for each of these cards.
Mm-hmm.
After this call or whenever,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Okay, so this is like the title. It came up with it. Came up with for it.
Does it say removal or
In cell cycle progression. Like it's just
Ambra one role in cell cycle progression? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
um
And then underline that.
okay. And then um um God, I'm totally having like a brain fart. I think I've hit a wall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had like 2 appointments today and yeah. Okay. You might have to like cut off some of the dead space here.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah. Um,
This is how actual thinking happens.
yeah. Yeah. No kidding. That's also what they don't really tell you. It's, I don't know, just the process. I feel like it would be helpful to have like more discussion about this, like in the grad school thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's like, here's a PowerPoint presentation, and oh yeah,
Don't do this. Yeah.
you need
Uh-huh.
a 50-page documented
Uh-huh.
research paper, and it's due by this date. All right, good luck.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
how about a little
Little
instruction on how the
more.
actual process works? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not really talked about. And then, like, because I was struggling so much with it, I was just like, oh, I should just leave grad school because this isn't intuitive to me.
Yeah.
But obviously, that didn't happen. So,
Yeah. Good. You're about to
um,
unleash hell on them with your
oh,
secret
yeah.
weapon.
Yeah. And I liked writing in high school. And I always got like high marks, but I don't know, for some reason, I guess because I had like a whole like 4-year gap in not really having to write essays or anything, I just kind of lost it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay.
Starts with writing by hand. I swear to God, that's the superpower.
Yeah.
Can't start with a blank slate, you know.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot because I mean, a lot of times it just felt like I needed to start like from scratch. But okay, so I found something I think I could like copy.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting from here, aside from
This
its autophagy related role, Ombra 1 also acts as a master gatekeeper that prevents premature or excessive activation of 2 parallel key pathways, sort of thing. Like
perfect.
that, I think is something that could be a main note. And this is also a staging note.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, let's just rewrite that out, basically.
Okay. Okay, we did it. I haven't added the citation, but
Okay. So, all right, let's add the citation in the bottom.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So in like life sciences papers, they don't really care about the page number from where you got it, huh? They just want like the
Yeah.
journal.
Yeah, basically. And usually if it's like the same author that's cited in one paper, it'll be like Tchaikovsky A or B. And then you usually order it in like the year that it was published.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's why it was also kind of like some of the little details I would get a little overwhelmed about, like when I would let's say like watch like your videos about like your other or just like how you would do things. I'm like, oh, the page number, but sometimes it's
You don't even need the
like
page
maybe I
number.
don't need it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, well, don't put
Well,
it, to
yeah.
myself. So
I mean, yeah. So in the
uh-huh.
bottom of this, if that's the case, then you don't even need to put the page number. In your case, you could just put the author's last name, right?
Yeah. So
Uh, I mean,
yeah,
unless you want to, like, unless you want to go back and verify, you're like, where did I get this
I'm gonna do that just
idea?
just for peace of mind. And then if I decide to change that in the future, I'll just
Yeah.
change it. Okay.
Yeah. Like
So
do the page number.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then we just gotta log it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to install it.
Install. There we
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta install it in your paper brain.
go.
Your paper brain and your seat warmer that blocks anyone from sitting next to you if you ever bring it on the bus.
I missed that thing. Yeah. No, I started driving to school now, so it's
Nice.
it all worked out. Yeah.
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 All right. So where would we put this one?
I
That is
think
the
this
question.
one would be. This would be. I think like it would be under the first one that I wrote. So like 3120/2/1A maybe, or would it be
Yeah.
/1?
Is it a variation or does it continue the idea?
It continues it in the sense that it's a specific example of how it's involved in non-autophagic functions.
Yeah.
Or what was the other option you said?
Or you can do 1A, but that I think was for like a variant or something like that, right?
Variant. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's fine not to people get so hung up on this, but I liked your first idea, of what you said of like it'll be 2/1/1.
Okay, so that would be not a variant. It just like branches off.
Yeah, it's like continuing that same idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Let me see that the idea again, or the address again. So or can you lower it a little bit?
Oh,
all right. 3121/2/1. Yeah, because we said Amber 1 is yeah, so 3121 or 3120/2/1/1.
/1. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So then this would go behind this, right?
Yep. Exactly. Building out your branch, your tree structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm seeing something. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. That would be autophagy components.
Now all you need is like 100 notes, and then you have your paper written pretty much.
Essentially, honestly, yeah, I mean, because I'm not having trouble finding papers by any means. It's just
yeah.
What I want to do with them.
And then it'll kind of like organize itself too, and then you know, when it gets time to writing, then you can create a card and then just put like a bunch of addresses on the cards. Like here's, let me see for my book, like, I'll show this one. Oh yeah, like here's an example. Like once you start writing, I don't know if you can see that, but like this is a card. It says, can you? Is it backwards or can you see it?
No, I could see it.
Okay, so it's evolution, and then I have the different card addresses. So this is like, oh, I'm going to write a section in my book on the evolution, the long-term evolution of ideas. And those are the individual components that are going to go in the section, you see, and it just references a bunch of different addresses. And all I do is when I actually want to write the section on evolution, you know, I just go in and I pull the cards, I put them sideways, as you can see. So I put them sideways here, you know, and so, and then I just pull out this chunk and then I'll put a little placeholder in and then I'll just start, you know, I use a different text editor, you know, but I'll put this on my desk, look at it and start writing based on that. And then you're kind of like reteaching yourself. So I'll like rewrite it in my own words and add a lot of my other knowledge and stuff onto it too. And then you just work through that. And this will probably be like, I don't know, these cards it doesn't look like that much, but this will probably be like, I don't know, 3 to 5,000 words,
Wow.
you know, on
Wow.
just
Okay.
those cards.
Okay.
Because, you know, I elaborate on them as well.
Okay.
For example, like, this is like a very early card that I wrote, you know, but I don't know if you can see it.
Wow.
I'll just read it too. It's like, so the principle of knowledge is greater than information. And it's like, when it comes to sharing publicly, err on the side of publishing knowledge over information. Knowledge in this case means structured, deliberately processed, conscious, you know, information, you know, that is explored and your own perspective on it. So I'll like kind of take that, but then I'll add my own examples, like when I'm writing it into Word that I can think of just off the top of my head, you know. So it's like and I've got this from, you know, forget where, but then so I'll have like the source cited and then like I can elaborate on it more. And I don't know if that's you know how I'm sure, you know, this is for like more a different type of material than the life sciences paper, you know, like I'm adding my own life experiences, my own examples and stuff like that. I don't know if you can elaborate on the same way in your papers, but I think it'll free up and give you more energy to like not have to think while you're writing that stuff in, you know?
Yeah. Cause I mean, in some ways you can elaborate like in certain sections of the paper, like, you know, I think it depends more. Yeah, there's two ways. It could be an elaboration on like the results and like maybe explaining the results, like what this could imply like in other aspects, or like just concepts like in a more like in a larger literature review of just like all the literature that we know, like, oh, you know, maybe like based off of other people's work or based on your own. Yeah. You do also have to kind of like flesh out your own original ideas, aside from just like data that you present, like, okay, what does it mean? What else can we glean from this?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. I think it'll definitely help you with, you're not going to have, once you build, all, you know, I used to say when I was like writing the main sections of this thing, I was like, I was using, not the most pleasant sounding metaphor, but it was like, how do you eat an elephant? And it's like one bite at a time, right?
Yeah.
You eat an elephant one bite at a time. You write a paper one note card at a time. You know, like every morning, if you do an hour, you know, if you create like four main notes, 4 or 5 main notes out of that 4 or 5 main notes is gonna like, it's not just a small paragraph that's gonna, you know, each one almost has a potential of like becoming a page in and of itself, and really good information. And
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, that's all you need to really focus on, I think, to get
Mhm.
to create a beast of a paper in August, like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
more than enough time.
Yeah. I think so too. And I mean, yeah, I really like how you have laid out the system also because it's different from, other people that you've done before too. And it's more real to me because like I said, I learn better when I'm like a little more hands-on and like show me how to do it. And I'll figure out my way. I
Yeah,
like cooking too. So
exactly. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah. And do we cover everything like that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, this
Oh
was
yeah.
the main thing. I needed to just see what it was like to get
Yeah.
all these notes into something
Yeah.
that matters. Because I'm probably a lot of this was background stuff also for my understanding, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't need to reiterate that in my
Mm-mm.
work. I mean, maybe if I do, I can go back because I have it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's all coming together.
Don't spend uh don't spend as much time. Try to get through the reading with just writing it down as short. If you're going to use the bib card, as short as possible, but since you're in the
Yeah.
beginning, just feel fine going straight to main notes for the main parts, main ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you have the structure, now you have the structure, you can
Yeah.
crank.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah.
I don't have any other, things. And maybe in the near future, I can write an update on Reddit or something about
That
it.
is what I was going to ask next. I really
Yes.
would
Yeah.
love, 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 love if this is helpful for you and if it helps you write your
Mhm.
paper. I would love to
Mhm.
see or hear you'll be a testimony of a success. You'll be a success story, like
Yeah. Buy the book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy now, buy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Coupon code.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, I actually think
Okay.
I'm gonna make the book on like available for free online, like the web page,
Nice. Yeah.
and then sell the like a hardbound, version,
Mhm.
and maybe like include other stuff too, like worksheets, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Because I think people
Yeah.
there's a ton of value out of the physical, and
Mhm.
then that way, like I don't have to like go through I'm probably not going to go through a main publisher. So that way I can
Okay.
do whatever I want with my content. I'm going to make it free to the world,
Yeah, that's
anti-net
been
power to the people.
yeah, seriously. I mean, like I listen to Mel Robbins and she's self-published and she, obviously she's doing really well for herself, but yeah, she's like, I couldn't do the main or the like big publisher route. And yeah, it's not impossible. And I think that'd be a good way to go. I would
Yeah.
definitely spend money to get like the hardcover because I have my own book collection too,
Yeah.
naturally. So
Hell yeah. I've got
yeah,
one
that'd
sale.
be great.
One sale.
Woo, I promise. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and please let me know, keep me posted, and like even
Mhm.
especially if you were like are doubting or running into trouble, and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
is this is taking if it's taking too long, if you're like, I don't know, like please email me, let me know,
Mhm.
like I want you to succeed, I want you to get the results
Okay.
from this. I want to have
Right.
a PhD case study. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my own PhD case study in my fiance, but it would be good to have two PhD
Yeah.
two
It'll be
doctorate case
robust.
studies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
N
exactly.
equals two. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Sweet. All
Yeah,
right.
no, for sure. I'll keep in contact. And yeah, this was great. Thank you so much.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing it. And sorry to all the people who couldn't do this.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the
All right.
recording button now. All right.